solid hours of music featuring new bands from the UK and America. Now, among those bands, we've got Ghost from Birmingham, The Promise from Aberdeen, The Quest, a Liverpool-based act who've been around for, quite a long time. I think I can remember seeing them yonks ago. Maybe it's a different one. Eyewitness, an American band. James Christian, who was formerly the singer for the House of Lords. Ted Poley, who is the ex-Danger Danger frontman, and I understand he might be having lots of explosions, because it says it will be an explosive affair, and I think it's quite literal. Crown of Thorns, and Taiketo have been added at the last minute, and there's also a new band called 10, which used to be Gary Hughes, but all of that will be revealed in a second, because here in the studio to talk about the state of A.O.R. is Crown of Thorns vocalist Jean Beauvoir, and Gary Hughes, widely touted as the UK's answer to Richard Marx, if I can think of the question. But to give you the full flavour, when Jean Beauvoir walked into the building, strongmen wobbled at the knees this afternoon. According to his press release, he has often been mistaken for RuPaul in trousers, and with his band Crown of Thorns, he sounds very much like this. That was Crown of Thorns, title track of the album, which was released in 1994 on Now and Then Records and co-produced by Paul Stanley of Kiss. And Rankin Stevie B was absolutely going raving mad in their head, banging on the desk. There's indentations. What is this that sits before me with the biggest hair this side of the Atlantic? But Jean Beauvoir and Gary Hughes. Tell me, what is this tour all about?
Well, it's a rock and roll show. It's going to be like a straight-out rock and roll show. There's a lot of bands playing.
A lot of bands, yeah. And I think 9 bands, yeah?
Yeah, I believe
over the
so.
period of the day, 12 till possibly 12.
That's right. 12 hours of straight rock.
12 hours?
Value for money, you see, Bruce.
Right, yeah.
Value for money.
Yeah, it should be quite fun.
You're closing the show, are you, Crown of Thorns?
Yes, I believe we are.
Are you a bit worried about people being absolutely knackered?
Well, I'm not sure if we're going to be second to last, or I think it's going to be at the end. Yeah, that's a problem. They might be knackered, but we'll wake them back up.
Right. I mean, on the whole subject of A.O.R., I mean, it's interesting that there's all these bands playing in the Astoria too, which is not the largest venue in the world. It's like just a bit bigger than most clubs. And a few years ago, of course, you could probably have expected Crown of Thorns or something else like that to be doing a theatre tour, like on its own, almost. I mean, what do you think's happened with hard rock?
Well, I think it's coming back. I think it's changed, with grunge and everything that's been coming out. It's changed a bit, but I think that people are opening up again, and I think also the financial thing has changed things. It's just not as much money out there. People aren't buying as many records. It's just not as much money out there.
I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, you've come all the way from America.
Well, this is unfortunately indicative of the British music scene, isn't it, at the moment? The companies really aren't putting vast amounts of money into A.O.R. in England. It's the whole stigma, really, I think, of everybody says, okay, probably the biggest A.O.R. type band in England at the moment are Bon Jovi, somebody like that. But everybody forgets that they made their whole reputation 10, maybe 15 years ago, when companies maybe could afford to push maybe a couple of £1 million into developing a band over a period of years. And we're seeing the benefit of that now, maybe the fruits of that now. Unfortunately, at the moment, I feel, unless you're an Offspring or a Green Day, that seems to be the kind of in vogue at the moment. If you're not one of those type of bands, then you're not really going to
work harder, yeah.
Yeah, but we're going to turn this around.
Yeah,
it's a big wheel,
so.
It comes round again, and we're going to be on it when it comes round again.
That's right.
Big time.
Time for the big show again.
Well, that's true, but there is a huge groundswell of interest in different forms of music, in different collaborations of music and things like that. And you take most A.O.R. hard rock type bands, and they tend to be fairly derivative. You can instantly say, that's right. Kind of a foreigner kind of track.
Which is what I was going to say. Yeah. I don't really believe in the, like Crown of Thorns is really an A.O.R. band. It's a rock and roll band. Rock and roll is heavy. It's guitars. It's
that's a cop out. That's a cop out, isn't it? Everything's a rock. Yeah, it's rock and roll. That's just huge. That's like having a big wall full of cracks and just like covering.
Yeah, but
crap,
don't you think A.O.R. is real specific? It's like you said. It's derivative. It sounds like you expect one sound. I don't think that Crown Thorns. Is Aerosmith an A.O.R. band?
Yes, I would say so, basically, yeah.
But are they really considered that? You know, I guess in America they're not considered an A.O.R. band.
But I mean, that's because of the way they've been marketed. But the way their music is, I mean, it's basically Aerosmith is Aerosmith is Aerosmith. Yeah. But Aerosmith were one of the originals.
The problem is in the classification, maybe. Maybe we should be talking about melodic rock rather than A.O.R.
Yeah, maybe so.
You know, because at the end of the day...
But that's a cop-out as well.
No, because these are... basically...
rock. Everything, if it's rock music and it has a tune, it's melodic rock.
Yeah, but not so many... Not so much rock music has tunes, right?
Yeah, you can't... Unfortunately, you can't play something like Nirvana on a piano or an acoustic guitar,
yes,
whereas
you can.
a lot of bands...
But they just did it unplugged on MTV. It's one of the biggest things on the planet.
Yeah, but they don't really stand up as fantastic songs,
yes, they do. They're amazing songs. Well, you may disagree with that, but...
Fair enough, British, your show.
No. I mean, but no. I mean, I think they're amazing songs. You obviously think their songs suck.
Well, I'm not exactly saying that the songs suck. Some of the stuff is commercial for the way they've been instrumentalized on their albums, the techniques that they've used and the sounds that they've actually used on those records. But I think when you break these songs down to an embryonic form, if you like, I really don't think that, you know, that they're that strong. They're not as strong as, say, for instance, if you break a Foreigner or a Styx track down or a Toto track down and all of a sudden, or Journey track down and immediately...
What about a song like Let It Be that has about 3 chords in it?
Well, again, yeah, but it's melodic. It has a melody.
Depends who's singing it.
It's all melody on chord, man. It's
yeah, I mean, Paul McCartney and the singer from Nirvana, I don't think you can even put in the same league.
Now, radio is interesting because, of course, basically in England we haven't really got any rock radio. Well, there's now 3 hours of it, and by the time I retire, there'll only be 2 hours of it left. You know, so in America, of course, every town has 1 or possibly 2 rock stations with different formats. I mean, to what extent do you think that A.O.R. or hard rock or whatever you want to call it is a product of radio, because radio demands that type of music?
Everybody seems to think that everybody has this, well, it's not exactly a myth, but I think it's overplayed, where people say they maybe, you can go over to America, you can turn any radio station on, and there's rock played all, 24 hours a day, whatever. And that's not necessarily true nowadays.
Yeah.
There's not
a lot of room for A.O.R. rock right now on American radio, on the smaller stations perhaps, but not, you're not hearing it on the big stations.
Well, it's turned into this thing called classic rock, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Which is good.
So you have classic rock format. I mean, that must be quite disappointing to you, because you're obviously trying to break into something new, and you're excluded from the new format.
Yeah, that's right.
And how are you ever going to make new classics?
And that's what's happening in America. But everything always turns around in America. So, as a musician, you kind of ride the storm. It gives us an opportunity to come over to Europe, come over to England and play. And where before you'd sign a deal in America, you'd be stuck there, but you'd never even get here half the time. Now you get the opportunity to come over here, and by the time it turns around again, back in America.
Well, everything has to be new before it becomes classic, doesn't it? So, that's the tragedy of it all, really. If these songs aren't going to get heard now, that they're not going to have a chance of being classics. I'm not suggesting for 1 second that, all our songs are classics, but at the end of the day...
Why not?
Well,
It'd be a start, wouldn't it?
Well, okay, yeah, all our songs are classics. Yeah, all those songs are classics.
What am I
saying?
The gods of hard rock return. That's a fair old statement, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gods of hard rock, you've got to be gods of hard rock.
That's right. We're fairly godlike. We do feel fairly godlike, don't we?
So you've got Crown of Thorns closing the show, and your new band 10.
New band 10, yeah. Vinnie Burns and myself will be getting up to do to Strata stuff along with the guys.
Okay. So, thank you very much for coming in.
Cheers,
Thank
Bruce.
you.
And we're going to play a track now. A Gary Hughes. Yeah, one of your tracks.
It's one of my... it's a 10 track, actually. This is actually a world premiere,
Go on, then.
for you. It's a track off the forthcoming 10 album, which as yet is untitled. But the track is titled After the Love Has Gone.